Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, corn dog lovers of all ages, welcome to In the Box with your hosts, Matt and Adam.
Everybody get...
Oh, hey, it's just me tonight, apparently. I don't think anyone can hear the other people that are on the show. I wonder what we'll have to do about that. I can't hear anything. There's one of them, maybe. Well, hello there.
Oh, no.
What happened here?
No.
Wait, how did she get in here?
I don't know. But everything's frozen, so I don't know what's going on. Hang on. Please hold.
Oh, there you are. I hear you.
Well, this is a massive failure. Hello, everybody. This is why we started early, so we could figure things out. Why won't this work?
Yep.
Why is it not working? I don't know why.
No.
All right, well, this is a failure. We are going to figure this out and maybe be right back. Till then, just
Time out.
time out. Wouldn't connect you to the video, even though you were on seconds before. And then as soon as I tried to exit the program and go back in, my computer went poof. So, Gio, we've been last in the broadcast rankings forever. But we're also doing this with a budget of 0 in my basement and not in a supposed professional arena with a professional team and a professional league.
Hey, did you get your present yet?
Oh, you know what? My doorbell rang. Do you want to talk to people, or should we take a one of those things?
No, I'll talk.
Okay, you talk to people. I'm gonna just gonna be right back.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, you do that. You go. So, welcome to this week's show. Should be a good one. Hopefully it's not 3 hours long. So as you can see below me, we do have some room set up for a couple of guests. I think one of them should be coming on the show here soon. And then we should have Willie B on momentarily as well. But after that, we'll talk about last week's game, predict this week's. Actually, we'll probably do picks first with Hannah. And then we'll have Willie B on, and whoever else from the Heat wants to come on. But yeah, Adam left for a second. Well, he'll explain to you what's going on when he comes back down. As you all know, I cannot see chat, so welcome to everyone that's coming in.
Cake.
Wait, what?
There's cake.
You have cake?
There's cake. Someone came to the door and dropped off cake.
Huh.
From Quick Trip.
Interesting.
Oh, you could have got me some chicken strips too. So I got 2 of these. They're carrot cakes with cinnamon roll frosting. And 2 of these, which are brownies.
Which is cake.
Which is, it's a cake. 2 of these. Well, thank you very much,
Wow.
Cake Fairy.
Was there any sort of any sort of
Let's see if I can get it. So there was a message. It said, got a gift. Barst.
blars? So I'm gonna go under the assumption Hannah's not coming back on.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that's what's happening. So we'll do. Jeez. Let's see if I can crash my computer again. No, I'm switching to this other scene.
Oh, okay.
So it's only the 2 of us. So what's funny is that essentially we had what I would call a drive-by caking. That'd be fair to say that's what that is?
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
And is Jack in the chat here? I haven't been able to catch up on chat. Our friend Jack Williams.
I didn't.
Kind of made another logo for us, and you guys can see it here in the. There's one right here. The Cake in the Box logo.
Yeah, it's anywhere in between a corn dog, I think.
Okay, get ready. Are you ready to catch it? Are you ready to catch something? Ready? Hands up!
I'm
Come
ready.
on, goalkeeper, hands up.
All right.
Want to try again?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sure.
Going the wrong way.
Oh, I'm never good with direction.
Just turn left. All right, we have Bushwhacker and the mentor for Bushwhacker and the kick from Dallas Kick from the mascot support group. That's pretty awesome. James Kowalczyk is here. Some kind of Hans something or other. I don't know. Eric Bergerud. He's going to rank the production of the indoor soccer shows.
What I did was I pointed out that Hannah was on for a moment.
She was.
Yeah.
And then.
So have you sent things to certain people?
No, but I will right now. I told him we had some technical difficulties and we no longer do. So
next week, hopefully we will resolve these issues, and we'll try and have Hannah on again.
Hannah who?
Hannah, you know, the little blonde, beats us in picks every week.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah, I don't want her on. We're bad enough as it is on our own.
I don't know.
So we're working on a guest. I just sent the link over.
Guest parentheses S.
Right.
So he asked me. He's like, "Well, who do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't care."
Yeah. I want someone to bring cake. So I had I had this all figured out, and you guys played a trick on me.
And by it was me. Like, so I was doing the research yesterday, and the only that place was the only place that delivered in the area that had cake.
And we kind of live in the country. You were here,
right.
You know.
Right, I know.
There's a farm across the road from my house.
you have more options than I do.
Oh.
But you do have a place that had some sort of cake goodness, and I'm like, okay, well, Adam's not going to have cake, and he's going to be sad, and I'm like, well, I'll send him some cake. And I told Tara about it today actually, and she's like, okay, I won't tell him. And then she's like, don't kill me, but he had cake already. And I'm like, well.
Yeah. And then, so I noticed that the outside light was on, and I'm like, oh, did you turn on the light or did I? Because I don't remember doing it. And she's like, oh, no, I did because I'm going to go get mail. And I'm like, okay, I'll fall for it. And then she said, why are you eating cake? Why are you having that? Because I had a piece of pineapple bread. Why are you sideways? Did I lose you? Am I telling the story to myself? I'm telling the story to myself. I think we lost Matt. This is going to be just a splendid night. And you guys out there in the chat are lucky if you have a picture. So I have cake. James, stay tuned. So you guys notice there's a timer up on top. Oh, there goes Matt. There is a timer up on top. And there may be something else. Once we get to the picks portion of the show, we may have picks. We have flying cakes. Thanks again, Jack, for the logo. It's awesome. And now I guess we just wait for people to join. I want to take a time out here soon too, because I did something new with that, but I need to wait for Matt to be. So how's it? How's life out in MASL land? What's the game of the week going to be this week? Bunswacker did suggest the 30-second pick rule, and it was a great one, and it just took me a while to figure out how to do it the right way. Yeah, you're right. Delay a game on Matt. Your audio sounds really goofy now. Sounds robotic. Okay. Matt is not going to join. He's going to reboot his phone or something. I think, so how weird do you guys think, here's a question. Speaking of yellow cards, how weird do you guys think that in outdoor soccer, 2 yellows is an immediate red, but in indoor, not only is a yellow not as important as a blue, but it takes 3 cards for a red and not 2 yellows for a red? Oh, here we go. Hang on, guys. Not working. What is going on? I can hear you guys, but hang on a second. I gotta get you on the thing here. I don't know what's going on. Matt even work on here? No. Yeah, delay a game on Matt. We're trying to get our guys in Mexico to join, and this is not working. Please stand by. Easily just blame the whole thing on internet in Mexico, but I won't. Are we back on? Are you guys? Can you guys see us? Not picking up. Oh, there we are. Hello. We're back, kind of. So we were trying to get Willie B and the Harrisburg guys to join from what I'm assuming is their hotel room in Mexico. And that was having problems with the same time we were getting Hannah to join. And then my machine crashed, and then we tried to get him on again. And so I think we're here.
So now they're just going to be in the chat harassing.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to have the Harrisburg guys on when they're back on U.S. soil. We wish them good luck tomorrow and Saturday night in Chihuahua. and we'll talk maybe next week on Thursday. We'll get them on the show where they don't play another game until next Saturday. So there's that. So all the I did see some of the comments. Matt, you got like 2 yellows and a red card for delay a game, and then Eric says, "Remember this the next time we talks about our broadcast." And then
okay, hang on. What have we said about his broadcast?
we said, hang on, let me erase some.
I'm curious.
I mean, he gave us this really cool intro, and he gave us this other really cool thing. Speaking of which, let's take a timeout quick.
Now would be a great time for a timeout. Now, back to them.
I mean, you're going to put that picture out on the internet. You expect people to use it, so we had to use it. So here we are.
Yeah, I understand that we haven't gone after their broadcast. We do go after. We really don't go after like announcers in general. It's broadcasts in general.
Yes.
And so, I mean, like you said, they have budgets. We have zero. Like I
think you just spent our budget on cake, but I thank you for it.
I think, yeah. So I have to go donate blood or something like that for money or something. I don't know, but I'm doing this off of my phone, and any sort of like phone call or anything like that, I get kicked off.
I'm doing this on my computer, and any sort of
it's
crash apparently kicks me out.
Yeah, at least you're getting a picture.
Right. You should. Oh, this is good. It's like spicy.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. That's really good. So now that we have our whole entire show blown up tonight, let's talk about some stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay's here, and Jay put a video out last week that's gonna go viral, and it's gonna make him a YouTube star. So let's talk about Jay's video.
So I told him it reached 100 views, and I told him I laughed so hard I watched it 95 times.
Refresh. 100 views, average view 3 seconds. So Jay ranked the arenas in the league from. Now I'm gonna give him a break here, a small one, mostly because I have to see him in person on Saturday. He ranked based on what he would want to go see. So 100% opinion piece, the same way as a power ranking would be. Now the fact that half his data was wrong, I mean, we'll give him a break on that one. But I did want to make a couple comments based on some things that I know. So in order, Harrisburg 12th, 100% agree. Can't argue with that at all. Chihuahua 11th, I think I agree with that. However, we've had this verified. It was told by the general manager in a press conference prior to the first game against San Diego a couple weeks ago, and also is on the website. There are 2,500 seats in the Chihuahua Arena. And I kind of zoomed in, I kind of looked, and like the front row or the wall section, the long wall section has 3 or 4 sections of seats. And each of those sections, I think, holds 100. Because I counted roughly 20 people, and there's probably 5 rows.
Right.
So I think 500 are just on the long area, and then you have the things that go up, and we don't know if there's any seats like balcony or anything like that.
Right. You know, I am I'm going to agree with the Harrisburg, but then I think Florida. I mean, I like the turf in Chihuahua. I don't like the turf in Florida.
No.
I
Totally
mean, I
agree.
like the size of the arena in Florida. I don't really like the size in Chihuahua.
Right.
But when it boils down to it, what is more appealing?
In person or
I
on a
think
broadcast?
Chihuahua's a little more appealing than Florida, because I mean, if you're looking at a broadcast, I mean, it's sporadic. Like, you might see a few fans here, a few fans there. In Chihuahua, and I think that's where Jay and I are going to disagree on most things.
Yeah, hang on, I'm just typing. So they say Wi-Fi is great at the hotel. So I just typed in. I think Florida is. I mean, I think you can take Florida, Chihuahua, and Harrisburg and kind of make them tied for last. But out of those three, I would rather see a game in Chihuahua. I think.
100% agree.
Yeah. Baltimore, from what I've heard. So if we ask, we asked Soccer Sam, who's one of the more knowledgeable people that I know from indoor soccer, and Sam, very very sorry for your loss.
Yes.
Mama Fantuzzo passed away this past week, last couple days, and we here at In the Box offer you a piece of cake to celebrate your mom's life. But Sam said that Baltimore is the best looking arena. You know, it's the best facility in the league. Now, when you add in all the things that Jay was talking about field size and the weird configurations and everything, yeah, I kind of agree that should be down there towards the bottom. But I think probably move Chihuahua up, move Florida and Baltimore and switch them, and just leave.
I would even, I didn't I got to Utica and stopped because I was just so furious with what he said. I would honestly, I know they just got new turf and everything, but I would put Dallas down there.
So there's a couple comments. So Bunswacker asked before, ranking of St. Louis was third on Jay's list. So from bottom to top: Harrisburg, Chihuahua, Baltimore, Florida, Utica, Tacoma, Milwaukee, San Diego, Dallas, St. Louis, Kansas City, Ontario. Those are the 12 in this season. And Jay did have a really good comment of the fact that the league has been so unstable as far as number of teams and in the league. He could do this video every season; it would be almost completely different. I got a kick out of that. So my question is, what's the point? Granted, Jay is looking at this at the glass mostly full point of view of assuming the league is going to grow and we can grow fans into the stands and things like that. But I kind of look at it as do a power ranking based on the current state. So for me, what looks better? An arena with 3,500 capacity with 3,000 fans in it, or an arena with 12,000 capacity with 1,500 fans in it? And I know Jay's criteria was number of seats, which is why Ontario beat out KC, which is my only guess. Because that Toyota Arena is big. It's meant for like a pro hockey arena. But so that's why they're on top. That's why they're on top. I did have a couple comments. So the Dallas thing was really funny. So Dallas got brand new turf. And then week 1, Dallas painted a giant white circle in the middle of the field with no logo. And then week 2, Dallas painted their Sidekicks logo all faded out like it looks now. And then they went like 6 weeks without doing anything. And then week 10 or 11 or whatever it was, they put a sticker not even the size of the thing with their logo on it in the middle of the field. So that wasn't even their old logo from last season. That was brand new turf, and they painted it to make it look like that.
Yeah.
So I just laughed at that. I didn't realize St. Louis actually did get new turf. It doesn't look very good because there's like giant seams in there, almost as thick as the frosting layer on this cake.
Frosting on the cake.
Hang on here, just runaway frosting here.
Yeah, you can't
This
have
is
that.
good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna get diabetes by tomorrow morning. I'm gonna be happy and proud. My only other comment that I wrote down, because I figured I'd let you talk about Utica when I'm done with all these.
Oh yeah.
So Milwaukee. So Jay, the beige wall is the basketball floor, and because there's a problem with storage in that arena between the boards and the not the boards in glass, but the boards that go underneath the turf over the hockey ice. Between those and the hockey ice and the boards and the turf, they're out of storage in that arena. They built it in the 50s and didn't plan for as much storage as they should have, and maybe didn't plan for locker rooms because I think those are renovated at some point. So that's why that beige wall is stacked up on that one side of the arena. And that's also why they don't put a bunch of stuff on it, because they need to do fast changeovers. I agree they could probably hang a couple banners or something on there. But that's the reason why. And Wave is low man on the totem pole as far as that arena goes. So they get this is the best we can do. We're going to put this in the middle of your arena, basically thing, wall. So that was my only comment on that. Yeah, and I think the reason they don't is because someone needs to do it, and they just don't have anyone to do it. So Jay said you can still hang banners from the beige. So Matt, tell us about Utica.
Well, hang on. I just got a message from the commissioner. Once again, I cannot. So it's we'll talk about this later. Commish, I will mention it. I read part of it. I will mention it.
What did I say now?
No, you didn't say anything.
Okay.
It's something. It's halfway point of the season, and I mean, if we should go over standings and stuff like that.
Oh.
So, Utica.
Based on how both of our teams are doing, maybe we'll boycott the standings part of the show.
Yeah, maybe we will. Well, according to Alex, Utica has 17 points. We're
right.
Good, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Utica. So I'm trying to figure out what Jay means by the fans aren't close. I listened to it a couple of times, and I'm kind of curious. Adam, do you remember what he said in regards to the fans? Are they like not close enough to the?
It seemed like the closest fans he said were like 10 feet away.
Yeah, incorrect. Around that arena, you could put your hand over and touch the boards.
No, that is a violation of game protocol.
I know it's a violation of the protocol. What was it? The
game protocol.
Game protocol. I know it's a game protocol violation, but anywhere you sit in, of course, except when you're behind the benches, fans are literally right up against the boards. And that's on the other side as well, which will probably change. I will let you know that next week because I will be in the beer garden on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
And that's even behind the goals.
Yeah, behind the goals seems pretty close.
There are seats right behind the goals. So that is completely wrong. The thing that got me was it's an M2 town. When you're bringing in 3,000 people a game, that's not really an M2 town. When you're second in the league in attendance, well, maybe third, it's not an M2 town. Moving the team to New York City is ridiculous. It would get swallowed up. There would be no room for a team in New York City. And for Utica to be the M2 team.
Well, and that it doesn't make really any sense because of how far away New York City from Utica is 242 miles.
Yeah. So if you're saying Utica is an M2 town, is Tacoma an M2 town as well? Is the Florida Tropics an M2 town?
Florida Tropics should be an M2 town. Wait, what was the question?
So I'm trying to figure out, just because they're not in a major market with another professional sports team, that doesn't make them an M2 team automatically.
Well, Cleveland.
So I was kind of thrown back by that comment. But we'll just let the attendance speak for itself.
Yeah. And I'll
of
go
course,
back.
It's going to take a hit Wednesday, but
Well, yeah. I'll go back to the comment of, would you rather have, like, you made a comment, what, 4 years ago, about percentage of arena, how full arena, and you got some people mad at you, because you said Utica's percentage is like 90-some% full. You guys sold out every game that first season. And there's other teams that were, they need a Landon Donovan to get over, a certain amount of attendance, which is since Sky, nose rocketed.
Nose skydive.
I think his nose rocketed.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's what it is.
But yeah, I think.
Oh, Jay says
my opinions of venues is greatly different, and Jay, you have your opinion. My opinion is completely different. So we will agree to disagree.
And Jay said all your questions will be answered in his next video, which is currently uploading. You need to upload faster because your fans are waiting.
Wait, what?
He said all of your questions will be answered in his next video, which is currently uploading.
I don't know if I'll watch it, but
hey, Jack, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but pay attention to the screen, right about in the middle. Ooh, a diving save.
hands
catch.
like Willie B.
Yeah.
So kind of going off of Jay's power rankings, I said I was going to do a list of power rankings. I haven't done it yet, but in due time, I will do my power rankings of arenas that I've actually been to, not counting Utica.
Might as well do Utica. You've been there. It counts.
So he had Ontario first.
Ontario first.
Too big.
KC, well, that's the reason why they got first. Ontario first.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I would go KC first.
I think the only reason you didn't was because it holds less people.
No, I mean, if you're talking hypothetically having a full arena, then I could see Ontario being up there. It's a nice turf, nice arena, and everything.
Sure, but if we're going to talk a full arena, you might as well put Florida in there.
Yeah, we're talking the state of the state right now.
State of the state, yeah. Since we have Jay here, let's talk the Chihuahua Savage. Because, as everyone knows, or maybe people don't know, Jay and I have a bet of, I said preseason, actually even before the point system was announced, when I knew not even a whole lot of what the Savage was going to do. I had a feeling what they would do. I said the Savage will go over 500, which means in a 24-game season, they will win 13 games. The Savage obviously have not started out in a phase where they're going to get 13 wins. However, they are currently 3-7. We're just doing win-loss with 10 games played. They have 14 games left, and they need to go 10-4 throughout the rest of the season. And what I did last week, actually before the last weekend's games, I went through their schedule and I'm like, games they should or could win and games they probably won't win. And I went all the way down the line, and as it turned out before last weekend, the games they should win will get them to 12 wins. And then they beat KC. And that was not one of the games I had on the games they should win list. So
I don't think anyone saw that coming.
no. So I think it's really possible that this is going to happen. I'm getting my hopes up, but I think it's really possible that it happens.
So since we're talking about bets, I would like to formally make a bet with Juan Ruiz.
Oh boy, here we go.
So in Alec Marshke's power rankings, he accidentally put Utica having 17 points. When in reality they have, 8? So Juan said Utica would not make it to 17 points. I will bet that Utica does make 17 points before the end of the season.
What are they at now? They are at 8.
Yeah, so 3 wins.
The 3 wins, right?
Yeah, so I will bet. Name the bet. I'm in.
Taking bets.
Chihuahua jersey for a Utica jersey.
Ooh. We might have to summarize this and send it to him. I don't know if he watches this.
Right.
Gio, can you translate this to him and send this to him? To Juan? You're still out there?
No, he's probably gonna make it like something's gonna be lost in translation, and I'm gonna have to send him like $30,000 or something like that.
Ooh. So Commissioner has messaged me a bunch of things that sound really interesting.
Oh, good. So he did. Okay, good.
But he's going. He's like we have a 4-hour show ahead of us if we cover everything he wants to cover right now.
Well, thank you, Commissioner.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
So there are a couple of other things I want. So you're supposed to ask me a question about Saturday game things.
Huh?
You're supposed to ask me a question about what happened Saturday.
What happened Saturday?
Overtime.
Oh, see, it would have been better if I had known what you were talking about.
I mean, I barely.
Let's do it again. Okay, Adam.
Yes.
So if we're reviewing games, do you remember there were 3 games? So there was a game that was played, and then there were 3 in the middle, and then there's one at the end. Those 3 games in the middle, do you know how they turned out?
Was there cake? There wasn't cake. Oh,
Overtime.
3 of the craziest games.
3 of the craziest games. What 3 were they? A long time ago.
It was Dallas, Florida.
Well, I know that. Dallas, Florida, Chihuahua, and Casey. What was the third? Oh.
Utica, St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. You guys are still in the league. Congratulations.
Hey, listen. We won. 8-game losing streak snapped.
Yes. That was a great game. I watched almost all of the games in their entirety. The only one I did not watch on the screen was the Wave game, and we'll get to what happened in the Fury game later on. One thing I do want to mention, and mention this to all of the announcers or broadcasters who are out there, there is no such thing as an own goal in the MASL. There were 2 announcers who were discussing / arguing / doing something about, I don't know what it's going to show on the score sheet right now. It might show up as an own goal on this guy, but it might show up as an own goal on that guy. We'll just have to see how it's scored. There are no own goals. Not a thing, does not exist. The goal goes to the last person that touched it. And the funny thing is, there was a number of years ago, and I can't remember who it was against. Ian Bennett touched the ball last. The other team got the ball, passed it around for 45 seconds, and scored an own goal on themselves by passing it back to the goalkeeper who wasn't there. And Ian Bennett got scheduled, or credited for the goal. Yeah. Yes.
So hypothetically, what if a ball, let's say Utica was playing Baltimore, and William Van Zella kicked the ball to me for some strange reason. I touched it with my hands, and caught it, and I put it on the ground, and then somehow it gets kicked into that net. Do I get credit for the goal?
Wait, are you on Van Zella's team or are you on the other team?
No, I'm on the other team.
You can't, there's no own goal.
Right.
So he would get credit for that goal.
No, he kicks it to me. I'm on the other team.
Where do you?
So I drop the ball. And then Baltimore just kicks it into their goal? It into their own net. Would I get I'd get the goal.
You would get the goal. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And Alec just said, I never thought of this, but could a player on the bench score? Absolutely. The way the rules are.
Game protocol.
No, these are game rules, actually. The last player who touches the ball gets credited with the goal. So, yes, a player could touch the ball, go off to a change, and then get credited with a goal.
Okay, so I'm gonna hang on 1 second. I think Commissioner sent you a message.
He sent me a bunch of messages. I don't know which one or where we should start.
So he just sent me a message. Which team has the best atmosphere? Commissioner, I've been to all of these arenas all over the place. I'm sticking with Utica.
Oh, come on.
You need to come to Utica.
You were in Milwaukee with the best atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think the potential for a best atmosphere is KC. Because of the way their arena is, there's no like upper and lower, and it's so here we're going to completely disagree against what Jay's looking at. If that arena is packed with 5,800 or 6,000 or whatever it holds, I think that would be insane because we were at the All-Star game with 1,500 and it was loud. Fans were loud.
Yeah, I mean the loudest arena I've been in is Utica. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it, but yeah, Utica it can get pretty loud with 3,000 people in a closed environment.
And I think that goes to just say if you have, I think that the arena capacity attendance ratio. I don't know how I have no words for what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, but I mean that was something I was interested in, and I think it adds to the home field advantage.
Yep.
Of course, home field advantage didn't help St. Louis last week.
But we're in a state. We're in a spot right now where attendance is screwed up because of COVID, because of just the way things are. It's hard to, and that's why I haven't been really getting on attendance. And when the first couple of weeks came out, the Wave had over 4,000 at one, and that was the only game so far this year. And then it's kind of just fallen off, and now 2,500 is the new 4,000 for attendance, and it's just not.
But you have to think of it this way: 2,500 is still way above average.
Right. Well, but how do you count average? So there was this article in the LA Times thing that we saw about Ontario, and I think there were some kind of cheap shots taken. It talked in a good way about the sport, but it also talked in a way, like Frank Tayu could have been in the World Cup playing for Cameroon for 42,000 fans, but instead he played Monday night for 697 or whatever it was. And then they made a comment about, the league average is 1,600, but Ontario is 1,000 less than that. The problem is there's two teams. There's one team who hasn't reported any attendance at all. There's another team who only reported half their games of attendance. And those averages of 0, like remember in your high school, you got like all 100s, you got a 0 and your grade dropped to a C, and you're like, what just happened? Those kill the averages. I think if you would average the, do like the Olympic thing where you throw out the high and low or whatever and do the true average, I think it would be a better number. It's nothing to really brag about. One thing I was going to do is I was going to look, in fact, Jack or any of the guys in Utica, do you guys know off the top of your head what the AHL Or your Utica. What league is Utica in? Not the AHL. Something like the EC,
No, it's
PHL.
AHL. You're right.
Oh, see what the averages are of attendance this year versus the year before COVID. So 2 years ago.
So I can kind of, and Jack can probably vouch for this. They had set attendance records for most consecutive sellouts,
Mm-hmm.
and it was up in the hundreds, I think, if I remember correctly. But I don't know about this show. I'd imagine it's lower, just like soccer.
Right. Yeah, and Gio says I feel like they should add a tab that shows percentage to total. Problem is that when you get a 12,000 person arena that can't fill 1,000 because all their games are on Monday and Tuesday nights, that percentage is going to look really, really bad.
But yeah, it's. I think we're still in unprecedented times.
Oh no!
You love that word. I figured I'd say it. With COVID and everything, but I think it's kind of turning a corner, and it's really weird how COVID restrictions. So if you watch the Super Bowl, how many people wore masks?
I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, it was not that many. I mean, you looked at any sort of like zoom in on celebrities, no one was wearing a mask. When I was in Ontario, it was vaccine, mask, like you name it. And they had COVID testing right outside the arena in San Diego.
Yep. And
so I think if arenas, and I don't know if they could coincide with the CDC or the health department of that county and be like, hey, I mean, you look at the Super Bowl, 70,000 people weren't wearing masks.
Yeah, I think
maybe that'll bring some of the fans back. I don't know.
I think as soon as this whole thing became political, it screwed up a lot of things for a long time.
Right.
And what's going to happen is we're going to run into situations where, in fact, Kevin made a comment about somebody requiring vaccine tests. That's crazy. No wonder no one's there. And a lot of people are going to look at that because they think it's a political thing now. And it may be, it may not be, where people are just going to be like, oh, if I have to show proof of whatever, or get a test or wear a mask or do whatever, you're infringing upon my freedoms, I'm not going to go. Which is fine. That's part of the country we live in, and that's a choice you have to make. But then you can't turn around and complain about, oh, well, why isn't this? Why isn't that?
Right.
I'll get off my soapbox there.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to this weekend's games. So, I mean, hats off to Chihuahua for doing what they did.
Yeah.
I mean,
and here's to 10 more. And Jay,
here's the 10 more points for Utica.
Jay, I'll take a $20 bill. I don't want this 10 and 2.5s crap. I got serious money to pay.
I would go ridiculous. I would go like a Sacagawea $1, a roll of quarters, a $2 bill.
Were those the gold coins? I liked those. Yeah. I liked those. Those were cool. I used to have some.
Sacagawea ones, yeah.
Yeah, I used to.
So let's see what else. Utica won in overtime.
So so Commissioner had some. Yeah, okay, let's talk about the games first, and then we'll go back to Commissioner's comments, and then we'll go on. So we had a lot of people. So Friday night's games. What day? Okay, Friday night's games. Blast kind of dominated the Heat. Chihuahua pulled out a really good win against the Ambush, and the Sockers kind of just beat up on the Stars like they've been doing. Saturday, Utica City got their first win in a long time. Congratulations.
First win this year.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Didn't think of that. Sockers beat up on the Stars again, even more so. Sidekicks beat the Tropics in one of the better games I've seen in a shootout. Chihuahua beat the Comets in overtime. And some great goals were scored in that game. And then the Wave beat the Heat. Now, if you look at the Wave Heat game, a lot of people commented that, oh, well, the Wave barely beat the Heat. It was 4-3 and blah, 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 and they can't score. The Wave kept the Heat to a shutout until 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Now, granted, the Wave didn't score a lot, or almost any, but the defense really, really stepped up, and the defense is what's hurting the most on this team, I think. Bushwhacker, not yet.
I think, honestly, that was one of the better games to watch. I mean, it was a low-scoring game, and, I mean, Harrisburg was hungry for that win, and they almost got it. But Milwaukee found a way to win, and
it was
I'm not gonna say if Willie B was in net it would have been different, but
I would. Their goalkeeper played great, but there were so many chances that the Wave had that were just. It happened in who made the comment? Was it Dallas or was it in St. Louis? That I think it was Matt Rocchio in St. Louis who made the comment of if the ambush had another 6 inches, they'd be up by like 10 goals. And granted, that's just how indoor is, and that's going to be how every game is. But I felt that was the Wave this past weekend. Just a lot of chances that didn't go in. But then instead of giving up on the counter then, because a lot of times you'd miss something that happened and they give up on the counter, the defense really stepped up. There were some, Gordy is like, I don't know how many games in a row Gordy Gerson's had a goal line save with his head or his body or whatever. A lot of good stuff happening. I think this weekend is going to be a giant test, and we'll get to those games in a little bit.
Yeah. So in regards to Utica, Utica's been not doing so well, as we all know. But the big thing is, once they lose a lead, whenever they have it, they kind of lose sight. They lose that confidence, and
except for Saturday,
it shows.
Except for Saturday.
Yeah. So when they tied 5-5, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's 7-5. 3 minutes left. I thought it, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. And then 7-6.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw that confidence grow. And then Joey Tavernisi on the back post, 7-7. And I'm like, okay, we got it. We got it to 50 seconds left, but we've seen it before.
Right.
But they stood strong.
Everyone close their eyes and just hopefully the time will count down.
The kids were sleeping when this was happening, so I couldn't really do much.
Oh, yeah.
And it was that one break. The break that Utica hasn't gotten at all this year.
And
that pinball right to Segura and then top shelf.
I don't think anybody would blame is the wrong word. I don't know what the word is. But anyone would fault the team for being 2 goals down with 3 minutes left and not winning. Because that happens all the time. Regardless of how you got there, you're down 2 goals, 3 minutes left. You're expected to lose at that point. So that was a huge gut check for them. On another note, is the 2-goal lead in indoor soccer the worst thing ever?
I don't know if it's like a kiss of death or what, but I mean, it almost was for Dallas.
Right. There was a year that I think 2 seasons ago, the Wave used to have a 6-goal lead, and I'd get a message from Sydney going, "Oh, here's the Wave with a 6-goal lead again." It's like, so there's a couple other things that since we're on this thing, so last week we kind of talked about this. Actually, maybe 2 weeks ago, we're basically at the halfway point of the season, and we've been there in flux because the number of games aren't always the same each weekend. It's not like the NFL; it's more like soccer or hockey, where there's a number of games in flux and things like that. So I think what we're at is the top 3 teams are set as far as division. I think KC, Florida, San Diego win the division. And I don't think there's any chance that anyone catches them.
There's no question about that.
So now we have 5 teams. And I think Gio said this. I think Ontario and Baltimore, maybe Dave said that. Maybe they both said this. Ontario and Baltimore are kind of the next 2 spots. I think probably fairly solidified. So then you have.
I mean, if you were to put the teams down on a piece of paper, you would probably put the top 3 in like Sharpie.
Right. Gio thinks Florida might fall out.
No.
Did another team join the East that we didn't know about?
Yeah. They're gonna fall like those birds in Chihuahua.
That was freaky, yeah. So, Gio, I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. I need my soap. I might just step on a piece of cake as my soap. No, I wouldn't do that.
No, don't do that.
But yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would put those 3 teams as Sharpies, and then you would kind of you'd probably put Baltimore, Ontario in like 10.
Yeah.
And then Dallas and Milwaukee.
Dallas, Milwaukee, Chihuahua,
St.
Tacoma,
Louis.
St. Louis.
Dallas, Milwaukee, and then in pencil, and then you could kind of. I mean, I'm not gonna put St. Louis as a pencil them in.
We're
the way
2 points
they've
behind
been
them.
playing, I think Milwaukee can climb over them. I think Chihuahua could climb over them.
Yeah, I think there's I think it's gonna be interesting. I don't even think. I think Harrisburg and Tacoma. I think Tacoma is probably in a lot of trouble because of who's in their division. I think Harrisburg could go on a run. I think Utica could go on a run, but it's like 5 teams going for 4 spots. Is that math right? No, it's like 4 teams going for 3 spots at that point.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what transpires with. I mean, those 5 teams we mentioned that are in Penn and Sharpie. I mean, you guys are in. That's.
I think so.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what transpires for the 7 other teams.
So, Commish had an interesting question.
Yes, Mr. Commissioner.
So, let's say it's later in the season. You're tied with a few minutes left in the game. Let's say 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a reasonable amount of time to do something. You're tied, playing a divisional opponent, and you need the points. Let's say Milwaukee KC, because that's going to happen 17 times here before the end of the season. Do you push hard to win and gain the 3 points with your opponent getting 0? Or do you try to play it safe, go for the tie, guarantee yourself the 1 point, because the swing is 3 points or it's only a 1 point swing at that point. If you win outright, you get 3 points, they get nothing. It's a 3 point swing. If you tie, you each get 1, and then one person only gets another one. So it's only a 1 point swing at that point.
It would depend on where they are in the standings. I mean,
right.
I mean, I think all the team's mentality at this point is play to win, play to get those 3 points. I mean, if it boils down to tiebreakers or whatever, I think having that win would be huge. So I would play to win.
Yeah. So let me just read what he said, because there's a lot of stuff that, and I'm going to answer this preemptively before I ask the question. There's a lot of stuff that my knowledge, as much as I think I know about the game, we get into some of these things he's bringing up, and I don't really understand enough to comment about them. So he says, who are the best teams tactically? What team and coaching staff has the ability to change tactics? And he says, like March Madness from high pressure, half court, man to man, zone defense. what team has the best chance, best coaching staff to be able to adapt, or do they just play the same way? And if it goes great, if not, it was the fault of the referee or traveler back to back, etc. And he said, no one talks tactics. Who are the best coaches in the league? Rate them. Who's great at making adjustments? Who's the best teacher? Who motivates and prepares the best? He says, well, if I was a listener, those are the points I would love to hear.
My kindergarten teacher was probably the best teacher ever. So
really, I had a Latin teacher in high school, Miss Link. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't remember any Latin, so maybe she wasn't that awesome. But
yeah, I mean, maybe not.
Benny Vici, Vici, that's which is interesting because there's this giant, it's the elephant in the room again. So, and then he says, please don't mention me for putting up bullet points or topics for town hall meetings. Promise I'm done. No, I keep calling him Coach because he's Coach Tozer, but no,
you literally just did.
I know. We appreciate it. I try to call him Commish, but we really appreciate that.
Any messages for that need to be sent to him directly, Mr. Commissioner.
Yeah, yeah. The elephant in the room is the fact that we have a non-soccer guy as a coach for a team that's free-falling. And Bushwhacker, you guys know who we're talking about. Gio, you're forgetting one team there. Gio says Savage, Blast, Dallas, and Florida have best coaches.
I'm gonna say, and it pains me. It pains me to say this. I think San Diego. I think Phil Salvaggio is one of the best coaches. I mean,
I think you cannot argue with the results, and they have the perfect recipe to completely implode as a team, and they haven't done it because they have all sorts of individual talent that's been able to work together.
Yeah, and I think going back to the commissioner's question, I mean, I think San Diego tactically is great. I mean, the results are showing on the field. I mean, especially we didn't even mention this game going into Ontario. What was it 6-0 with like going into the fourth quarter or like late into the fourth quarter? Like,
yep.
They have a plan going into each and every game.
I also like
executed perfectly. And one of the interesting points before the game that Philly and Jonathan mentioned, Ontario has Frank Tayu has however many goals, 18 or whatever. The rest of the forwards have like 6 combined. You look at San Diego. San Diego's more of a well-rounded team.
Yep.
So if you shut down Tavoy Morgan, geez, you've got Charlie Gonzalez, Brandon Escoto. What's his name? Number 37.
The great
Who
Chilis.
is it? Yes.
Yeah.
So you've got all of these guys, and it, like I said, the results are showing. Now they need to. I think the big thing for San Diego is they need to continue that momentum into the playoffs, where we've seen them go in hot.
So
and then kind of falter.
We've seen two. Seen two San Diego. Say that we've seen two San Diego teams. One that completely dominates the regular season and then can't win in the playoffs, and the other one who throws away the regular season and then just wakes up in the playoffs. This year is going the same pattern as the one that doesn't make it in the playoffs, but they also just had that experience of going through that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I, as a Wave fan, am looking at the Wave possibly taking 8th place and playing San Diego, and yikes. Now, granted, hopefully we'll have a lot more experience by then, because I think we have the best coach in the league for taking the talent that we have, and I don't want to say this as an insult, but maybe the lack of current talent we have, and building it into that talent that we need. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there.
Oh, and fun fact: we get to see San Diego twice next month.
You do? Oh, good.
Yeah, in Utica. That's going to be fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
We
you.
get to see him once in San Diego, and I won't be able to go next weekend. So I'm gonna cry for a little bit and have some cake. And
Well, there you go. You got plenty of that.
yes, what crying or cake?
Both.
Oh, okay, both.
Yeah.
So as usual, I write down a lot of different things. I think we've gone through most of the game. We don't need to recap all the games as much as preview them, I think.
Hey, well, let me just say hats off to Gio's team for beating Florida in a shootout. That was a really good game.
Whose team? Oh, Gio's team. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To which I don't want to talk about it, but the fact that Ricardo Dieguez played irritates the snot out of me. Let's just move on.
That brings another. Hang on, let me have a bite of cake.
Yeah, bite a cake, but that's all I want to say about that game.
Yeah, Gio, your team. Green and black, green and white, depending on the jersey.
You go back and you look at all of the broadcasts you were on, Gio. I think if you were to put like a cake chart, we're not going to do pie charts here on the show.
We can have a circle cake.
Yeah, like a cake chart. The amount of Dallas Sidekicks jerseys you wore is pretty high up there on the cake chart.
What would be cool is if we could go through. We need an intern. We should hire an intern to go through all of our live streams and edit out when Gio says the word Dallas and just feed those all together in one long video. Dallas,
Like you did with Alec.
Yeah, right. Blast, 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 blast.
And then at the end, Gio's like, "I hate you guys."
Right, exactly. That would be perfect. Hey, Gio, we kind of miss you. I mean, not a lot, just a little. Bushwhacker, you guys needed to ambush goalkeeper Sway on the show. Sway was cool. He came by when Matt was in Milwaukee and said hi to us. Now he hasn't said hi to just me, but he came by when Matt was there and said hi to both of us.
We have a picture.
We do. I don't have an easy way to show it.
All right. Well, yeah. Sway came by and took a picture with us. And
all right, so let's get real. Not that we haven't been real.
What? How are we getting real?
Let's talk visas.
No, I no.
So I've heard. Here's what I would like as a fan, and I know maybe somebody's watching that could hear this, and I know there's really no answers. I know as a fan, here's what I know. And let's say I'm a dumb fan. I'm a dumber fan than I already am. And I don't know. I only know what I see online on social media posts. I don't go into any groups. I don't watch two idiots talking about cake on every Thursday night. And I go to some games. I maybe watch a game or two on YouTube, but I'm not watching every game. And let's say I see half my team's home games. I'm a casual fan. I have no idea why my favorite player isn't playing on the team, and I think it's because I just run to conclusions. Oh, the team hasn't done enough to get that person on the team. Why haven't they done that? And the reality is that we're dealing with U.S. immigration, we're dealing with visas, we're dealing with a lot of, dare I say, political issues. But as a casual fan, I don't know that. And then as the slightly less dumb fan, dumberer,
who is one of the idiots that does a show on Thursday night.
Who is one of the idiots that does so Thursday night about cake, who has very good friends that are not able to enter the country, both in soccer and in personal life or corporate work life because of visa issues. I still don't know why there are no visas I don't know what's being done. I don't know. We don't even find out when people are denied unless we hear it hearsay. We hear rumors. We hear all sorts of stuff that are probably not healthy to spread. And then we hear situations that one of our players who was approved Daniel Chamale, Hugo Silva. I don't know if there's any others. All of a sudden in the middle of the season, after they've already played games, now in Chamale's case, he got injured, so maybe it's a different story. Now they got deported and have to go back home. But because their home is here, they have to go back to a home that they haven't really lived in many years. 3, 4, 5 years in some cases. How did Diegas play? What's the weird, like there's some weird rule that if you go get traded to the team that originally had your visa, you can play even though you could play on a different team last year, but you can't play this year. I'd like to see more of a response from teams or the league or somebody, even if it's a lawyered up paragraph or something.
I think that would be interesting to get like someone. I know this is never going to happen, but to get like a lawyer on the show that can kind of tell us like, what's a visa? How does one get a visa? Why is this player A getting a visa and player B isn't? And why is player C getting deported?
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of confusion that's.
Yeah, I'm confused at that. I understand I understand from a press standpoint, you don't want to do any bad press. I mean, there's been a lot of movies that kind of joke about that. You know, I just watched The Martian the other day, and one guy said something about maybe bringing him back home alive, and they're like, "You can't say alive on the air." Okay, we're taking him off. He's not longer going to do any interviews or whatever. And I understand there's that aspect of it, but there's also the real aspect of we're in a unique sport here where we're dealing with people that are friends and their lives and their families and this whole thing. And we as fans just flat out don't know. And it kind of leads me into this next topic. So Nick Pereira just got announced as the new GM of the OL Reign, which is the NWSL team with like Megan Rapinoe and a bunch of women's stars who are on the women's national team. Like, first of all, complete congratulations to Nick. That's really, really awesome. But no one's answered the elephant in the room question. There's a lot of elephants in this room. Damn.
I know. Jeez, how are you able to?
I don't know, but they better stay away from my cake or I'm in an elephant wrestling match here. New on In the Box, elephant wrestling. But like the one question all of the Tacoma fans are going to answer, and the one that you've said, hey, if we post this out, what's the one question our fans are going to answer? What does that mean for Tacoma? And what was the one thing that was not mentioned, and what was the one question that was ignored by both Tacoma and the league? All the people are like, what's going to happen with Tacoma? Is he going to stay? Is he not going anywhere? Now, we can speculate and say, hey, this is probably in the works from before the MASL season started. That's why he stepped down as coach. That's why they brought in this other guy to kind of, they can work together and transition. And then we expect him to be gone, but we don't know because nothing's been said. And then when you post on social media, what does this mean about him in this next season? And there's no answer. I think it's worse to not answer it than there is to just give it, we're evaluating and we'll see what happens or something. But I think the fan communication needs to step up a notch or 10. So there's my little soapbox rant.
But I mean, the messages from the commissioner to us is definitely good. A step in the right direction.
Yes, absolutely, 100%, 100%. Except for that, I wrote these down before he started sending messages to me. You know what? I write down stuff whenever I think of it.
No, I know you do. I know. I was there.
So, Gio, why he would be gone? Because their season starts in March, and they need to start working on stuff before that. And you would think something with the pull of NWSL would want him full time year round.
Ooh, speaking of Tacoma, they're doing another jersey auction.
Now what is it?
This week?
What kind of jersey am I going to have to try to avoid buying this time? Hang on.
It's similar to. Jesus, I have way too many of these.
I don't see it. Where is it?
Well, it's pretty much like this one, but I think it's all blue. I think this one it's all blue, and the goalie ones are all orange.
Oh,
I think.
And I don't see a picture of it yet, but I'm probably not looking in the right place. That's okay.
They look pretty nice.
They always do. I don't think they. I don't think. But so Gio, he was a director of a youth academy, which many players and coaches are. around the league. This is like big time pro. This is like stepping up to the big leagues here, which eventually the MASL will be. But what else do we got? Do you want to talk about more elephants in the room?
Let's get to some picks. How about that?
Hang on.
All right. Oh wait, we've already. Oh Lord.
MASL goal of the week given to number 25 Andrew Wiedeba. Oh wait, no, it's Javier Steinwasser. So that was disappointing. There's 4 goals picked. And then 2 names are on the screen at the same time. And granted, Javier Steinwasser did have an incredible goal early on in the game. I think it was the first goal of the game. But can we not proofread things to get the name right?
Well, if you want to go down that road,
If you want to go down that road,
about 9 minutes into MASL primetime.
it is.
Oh, well, case in point.
I told Mr. Ian Bennett that he's going to have to rebrand himself because Alex Bastravansky called him IB24. And what's the deal with all of the broadcasters saying, and granted, this isn't anything against the broadcasters, but broadcast teams are reading off a script and they have to do like their commercials and stuff. And they say, oh, this is going to be released every Friday and it comes out every Wednesday. So then I wait until Friday to watch it, and then I miss the thing that when it comes out on Wednesday or something on it. I just kind of went back in time.
I don't know.
So that's confusing. We want to talk about can we get the website changed?
Sure.
So so the way hockey does it, in fact, let me verify that this is, so the way hockey does it is they do a 4-number system. Wins, losses. No, it is overtime. Oh, actually, it is the same as what hockey is. So this has gotten a couple of announcers confused. Poor Matt Thornton, who has enough problems with pronouncing names right, is talking about, this is like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Oh, and St. Louis is doing great with 9 wins, no losses, and 1 overtime. And Ontario has 7 wins and 4 losses and 2 overtimes. And Chihuahua has 3 wins and 5 losses and 2 overtimes. But what are the overtimes? Like the overtimes are listed as overtime losses. And then a Wave fan was like, well, did the league screw us out of a point because we won and we should have had 2 more points? But no, because the win was an overtime win, so it only counted as 2 points instead of 3. So you can't just take the number of wins and...
So my question then would be, how would Chihuahua announcers announce records?
Michael Jordan lo hizo.
Would
I
they be
believe
like
I
2
can
wins,
fly.
4 losses, and 3?
Overtime.
Overtime.
I got the wrong one.
Exactly.
But no, it's confusing to see because you can't tell where they have overtime wins. It's just overtime losses. It'd be better, I think, to see win, loss, overtime win, overtime loss, and then have the points added up.
Yeah, because San Diego is still undefeated.
No, they have 1 loss.
Is it 1 regular?
No, it's 1
loss?
overtime loss. Oh, here we go with I see where you're going here.
No, so like in hockey, they would call that an unbeaten streak.
Would they? Because that was the thing Jay tried to say, and you told him he was wrong. Because Jay, when the Wave lost against the Blast in overtime, first game of the season, Jay said they're still undefeated, and you said no because they lost.
They're unbeaten, not undefeated.
So, by the way, the title of his next video is "One Guy in Utica Got Mad at Me."
Wait, what is that?
One guy in Utica got mad at me.
Is that the name of his video?
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that any Utica fan that watched that video would have the same exact reaction that I would.
Oh boy. Oh, I came up with
All I gotta say is, come to Utica. Your opinion will change 110%.
but it's blue turf. Turf should be green because it's more natural. Oh, wait a minute, it's artificial. I had a random thought. So again, the topic of glass up around the arena came up. So Ontario has put glass up for their own reasons. But there is no mandate from the league that glass needs to go up. And I'm still having people question me on, well, I thought you said the glass didn't have to go up. Why? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I have an idea. If we want glass up everywhere, why don't we give people those police riot shields? And they can just hold them up in front of their seats. And because their hands are busy, they won't put their hands over the boards.
Riot shields across America.
Right. So Jay says, please take it as a dry comedy that certain parts of it are. Certain parts. Yeah. And then, of course, for those who don't want music at the game, we got the Cones of Silence from Get Smart, which just doubles as both.
Yes.
I heard.
And San Diego needs flashlights.
Who was talking about music during the game in their broadcast, and who didn't play music? Was that KC? Eric, was that you guys? Somebody was talking about I missed part of it, and short attention span and stuff like that.
Squirrel. Exactly.
Do we want to do broadcast rankings?
That is your baby. So that is up to you. We have already upset broadcasters across the league, apparently. So
I have a couple more comments that, like, Joey in St. Louis was talking about the whole game that they're going to have a halftime interview with some guy, and then it turns out it was only going to be on their radio show and not on the broadcast on YouTube.
Although he came on during the third quarter.
Right. And he had some really good insight. I thought that was cool.
And they scored 5 goals. It was 5-1 while he was up in the booth.
Gotta stop bringing people up into the booth. More on that in a second, kids.
Oh, no. I think I know where you're going with this. Okay.
I think that's all we really have to do other than our picks, which is a different segment altogether. So, I have a note that a player on the Wave looked completely effing lost out there on Saturday. Jay said, Alex says, I figured if we wanted glass up, all we had to do was start coughing on the players. Jay said, I do make my points, but he's totally on board with the agree to disagree part. I'm going to guess you're probably not going to want to watch this video then.
I have zero intention of watching it. So if someone wants to give me bullet points, that's great. But
so let's go back to school here. What does that look like?
Oh, I see the top part. Yes.
What I decided to do is the broadcast rankings are going to be exclusive to the YouTube show as a total scam to try to get more YouTube subscribers. Meanwhile,
this is a different setup.
Please subscribe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go team by team. Now this is in the order, hopefully in the order the games were played, and if not, I screwed up. We have our old time handwritten report card. Baltimore talks too much in class. We'll need to see you after school. 2-week detention. So now we have an issue. We had an issue in Baltimore for a while that the field was like really dark in places, and now we have it like the top half is like really bright and the bottom half is really dark. The camera guy doesn't seem to realize that there's a scoreboard on the screen, and he happens to put the goal right under the scoreboard, so you miss the goals in there. And we still got clipping audio, but at least the delay is gone, so maybe that's an improvement. But I didn't feel it was enough to move up to a B. Eric, I hope you're still watching. Yay! Okay, stop. I think my only issue with this one was the white balance was a little bit off, and whenever the ball went over the center logo, it kind of vanished. But great job, guys, as usual. Regardless of how nervous Eric was when he said he was nervous. I think he said his mic went out, and he was like, all I could think of is what I was going to say about it. Which I think is great. Bushwhackers always nervous about the St. Louis grid. I would be too, man. Because, yay. You don't get a golf clap because the file plays too long. St. Louis had 2 games. No issues. I know there's a lot of fans who are polarized by, like, Joey Zanaboni is definitely a polarizing figure, but I think he's great. I think the stuff he says is great. I think he needs to go somewhere between where he is now and where he was at the beginning of the season with his level of energy. Because it's right now he gets really hyped up for the home goals, but the away goals, he goes, oh, and there's a shot, and it's almost Brian Ackley like. But I would give 2 A's to St. Louis, but there were 2 games, but there's only room on here for 1, so.
You
get the
one long A.
Tacoma. 2 games with a really dark. Still has issues following the ball. Nothing's changed, which tells me this is the best they're going to do, and that's going to be it. So.
Well, wait. What was the clip you sent me? Was that so? It was Tacoma San Diego. I think it was Pardo.
Oh yeah.
Like kicked the ball. It looked like he was having some sort of like.
It's all
like he got struck by lightning or something.
All of a sudden, in the middle of the game, Pardo goes down to save a pass, and the video like skips, like it was a bad like CD or something. It was like skip, and he was like back and forth like 6 times, and then it just went back on and played. So I forgot about that. I totally forgot I even sent you that. So there was that. But Tacoma, it's the only plus side of the Tacoma has been consistent, but it's been consistently kind of awful. So
I still like that angle from up top. That's like one of my favorite. It reminds me of like the Kansas City.
If they left it at that angle and stopped zooming in, it'd be fine. And I'd bump this probably up to an A. But the fact that they missed so many goals and so many passes and like, let's play the game. Where's the ball? I don't know. So there's that. Next one, this is going to be a kind of a homer score. Full disclosure, I did not watch this game. I went through and I watched a couple goal replays, and they're still having clipping audio on the louder stuff. So I decided to just give him a B, and I'll watch the game. I still have 2 games to watch, and I'm gonna have 3 after this weekend, although I'm gonna watch the one in case he's live. But I'm trying to find time to do. We had a busy, crazy week, and so that may be revisited. Now here's one that you're probably not going to agree with. Well, maybe not you, but other people like. So Dallas, hey Annette, how's it going? And if I missed anyone in the chat and said hi, and I didn't mean to, we had.
Oh, so I totally forgot. Hi Hannah, hi Henry. If you've made it this far.
Oh, Hannah and Henry, hi. Yeah, we've tried to get them.
Yeah, well, when they called, Hannah's like, give us a shout out. I'm like, okay. And she's like, and Henry too. I'm like, okay.
Hi, Henry.
Hi, Henry. Hi, Hannah.
With the best audio clip ever on this history of MASL or in the box. This brings up a good point. The Milwaukee one. I'm pointing at the screen, even though you can't see. I'm pointing at the screen because like my hands are behind the paper here.
Well, I saw you moved it back up. So yeah.
I moved it back up. So Milwaukee historically has always had a problem with clipping audio, and I've tried to talk to them like, hey, is there equipment that the fans can purchase? Can we donate it? Can I get my name on a compressor? This compressor brought to you by In the Box, or something. They've always kind of had that problem. I think part of it is that they're not in the box, and they're not in the what, John?
Giggity.
They're not in the press box. They're outside of it in the arena. So I think they probably have a lot of problems with sound levels and checking and stuff like that. In any case, long time. Annette, I'll get to that in a second. Long time Wave announcer Art Kramer is going to be back. Now, Adam Grosskreutz, is he going to be back Saturday? So there were some accusations made against Art Kramer 2 years and 6 months ago, 2.5 years ago. I won't get into any of the details or whatever it was, but he was just less than a couple weeks ago cleared of all charges. Everything was dismissed. He can get his life back together. I know he went over 2 years without being able to see his kids. COVID didn't help with any of this stuff. I know he hasn't coached at all. I know he loves youth coaching, and they had to take him off the broadcast for obvious reasons. I think he's going to be back. I think it's going to be great, and I hope they get back to up to A level here shortly. So that's it. Let's get back to Dallas. Dallas gets a C. If I was going to rate Dallas's audio, I would give them an A+. Because Dallas has figured out compression and limiting. And if you go back and listen to a Dallas broadcast, you'll hear his voice. So if you figure like a waveform does this, when you say something really loud, it goes way up here, and really quiet, it goes way down here. What you should have in a TV or radio broadcast is like a level that just stays like this. It may go a little bit up and down, but it's basically staying in this band. And when the guys in Dallas call goals that are louder, it stays at the same level. And that means they have, so a compressor is basically an intelligent volume knob that when it gets to a certain level, it just turns it down. There's your audio 101 for the day. Now, the more you know. But they had all sorts of weird video issues this week. Video was kind of out of focus, and it was kind of choppy and laggy. And it got better in the second half, but then it got worse again towards the fourth quarter. So they've done broadcasts that are of A quality level, and I don't know why they can't continue that. So that brings us here. So what does this mean? You may ask yourselves.
Well, I already know.
We got home Tuesday just in time for me to get my pool cue out, put the game on the TV, and do some pool practice for my Wednesday night leagues, which I did take first place in the individual standings overall. Yay me, congratulations, whatever.
I like how you said individual standings. You didn't say singles.
It's listed on the app as single standings, so that's why I did that. But as a team, we finished 9th out of like 14 or whatever. But I guess who's been team up? What?
Yeah.
I am the... No, I can't. I'm the Willie B of our team.
That's right.
First half was great. Great audio, great video, great stuff, great everything. The weird camera angles are gone, at least as far as I'm able to tell, because I was playing pool a lot. The halftime show is brutal. It's 4 commercials that are anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, played back to back for 15 minutes straight. And dummy me didn't turn them off right away because I was in a zone and I was shooting, but that was brutal. That hurt for a while. And then second half, who joins the booth but our former friend, Erg Sudi. So that's when I turned it off. So I don't know if the second half was better than the first half or not. The game was already done. Jonathan, Philly, love you guys, but I can't listen to that. He's gone out of his way to block me. He would not want me to listen to him talking on a broadcast. So I just followed his wishes and I turned it off. So there's that. And we can get rid of this thing. All right. So we have a new feature here on In the Box that Matt doesn't even know about yet. So do we want to do game picks? Do we want to talk about the game, or do we want to do our picks, or how are we going to do it?
Wait a second. So my fan came on like as soon as you said that. What did you say?
When we're doing our picks, how do we want to do our picks? Do we talk about the game first and then we each make a pick, or do we take turns talking about the game and making a pick?
Well, we can each talk about the game and make a pick. Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Are we timing ourselves?
We
is
are.
Is this PTI? Is this PTI?
This is Bushwhacker's idea. We are going to implement it. We're going to try this for the first time. If my computer crashes, I'm going to blame Willie B again. But I think we're going to be okay. So, and actually you can get a little bit more time. First two games, Friday night and Saturday night, Harrisburg at Chihuahua. Ready and go.
All right. Well, Harrisburg, Chihuahua in Chihuahua. I mean, Chihuahua's got the home field advantage. Harrisburg's coming off a pretty impressive 4-3. I mean, granted, it was a loss against Milwaukee. Chihuahua sweeping this weekend. I think the X factor is going to be Willie B. I am going to go with Chihuahua in sweep.
I just want to wait till it's 0, see if it works. It works. That was sweet. That was great. That was one of the coolest things this show's ever done. All right. Chihuahua sweeps. Next.
Oh, wow. Dang.
I think this Chihuahua team is the Chihuahua team that I was expecting to be from the beginning of the season, and I don't see any way that the Heat are going to be able to beat them in Chihuahua. Chihuahua seemed to be stronger in the second game against Milwaukee. Now I'm running out of time because I'm battling, so 2-1 and Chihuahua. I got to turn that down. That's really annoying.
Although I think Harrisburg's going to put up a good fight. They do play well in small arenas. So.
I'm sorry. Time's up.
You can just retract 5 seconds from my next one.
All right, Casey at Milwaukee and go.
Kansas City. No, seriously. So this is in Milwaukee, right?
So there's 2 games, one in Milwaukee, one in Kansas City. Friday night, or
Right.
here, hang on, I'll start your
both
time
games?
over. So Saturday is in Milwaukee. 24 hours later, it's in Kansas City.
No, okay, thank you. So, all right, I see this as being a split. I think both teams are going to win at home. Definitely home field advantage for both teams. Kansas City getting beat by Chihuahua. So you just kind of see them step back just a little bit. Meanwhile, I think Milwaukee's gears are starting to turn just a little bit more. You're starting to see Matt Perella be more confident. So therefore, split.
Did you rehearse that?
Huh?
Did you rehearse that?
No, that was off the top of the head.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right. I think I'm going to agree with you. I'd like to see 2 wins. I'd like to see them be able to beat, but this is going to be a huge game for Milwaukee because if they expect to go anywhere in the playoffs, they have to be able to beat KC. Historically, Wave has dominated KC, but historically in the last 4 or 5 years, this year's teams are obviously different. I think the Wave can pull out a win. I think they lose on the road. And extra words here for time.
Yeah, we did it.
Is that buzzer really annoyingly loud on your guys' side? Because in my speakers, it's pretty.
I can barely hear it on mine.
Oh, good.
So.
Okay. Next game is Saturday night, Baltimore at Tacoma.
Ooh, Baltimore at Tacoma. Vinny Datas versus his former team. The question will be, does Nick Pereira play? I think if Nick Pereira does play, I think the game will be a lot closer. Baltimore needs to save some of its strength because, well, they might be playing a certain team on Wednesday night. But I definitely think the trip out west will hurt Baltimore. and I'm going to pick Tacoma in an upset.
How are you doing this? Are you a wizard or something?
Yes.
Okay. You picked Tacoma in an upset, huh? The last time you do that, they scored 6 goals against San Diego's 18. So
That's true.
I'm gonna pick. I gotta pick Baltimore here. Tacoma is this weird team again. They have made very little changes over the years, and they get the same kind of weird results. I'm going with Baltimore in a closer game. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near like San Diego's was. Oh yeah, that buzzer. That buzzer has to be changed. Hang on. Lower buzzer. Biome. Note to self. Next game is Monday nights. Why do we have a Monday? What the? Is this right? Next game is a Monday, February 21st at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, it's the Dallas game, right?
In Dallas. St. Louis at Dallas, and I go.
Yeah, isn't it like the President's Day game or something like that? They always have it every year.
Like that.
I mean, two teams going in two opposite directions. St. Louis losing their last 2 games to Chihuahua and Utica. Meanwhile, Dallas pulling off a shootout victory against the Florida Tropics. Juan Gamboa is impressing me personally.
5 seconds.
Good to see him playing well. I'm going to go Dallas.
Yep. This 30-second clock brought to you by Bunswacker. He asked me to do that. Okay, so it is a President's Day game, as everyone says. I have to pick Dallas. I don't know how Dallas did against Florida. I know Florida had a number of their players missing, but Florida's so deep in their roster that you can't tell me that having 3 or 4 players out is a problem. They got Brett Petrusek in goal. We'll see how long he can handle the season, if he quits on them or not. And I picked Dallas by 3.
I like how you talked about Florida more than you did the actual game.
I was running out of time. It's pressure. I don't know what to talk about.
Well, you were talking about Florida. You're like, oh, Florida's deep, and Florida's got Brett Petrusek. Oh, by the way, Dallas wins.
Yeah. I got lost there for a second. I do it over. Here. But wait. This 30-second clock brought to you by Bunswacker. Okay. I think Dallas wins because they were able to beat Florida. Florida's really deep. I already did that. I like a lot of things San Diego's doing. St. Louis is doing. Jesus Christ.
Now would be a great time for a timeout.
Now, back to them.
Okay, oh shit. This 30-second clock brought to you by Bunswacker. I still think Dallas wins. I don't think that's going to change my mind at all. But I think St. Louis is going in the wrong way, and I think if they don't change, they're going to be in trouble for making the playoffs. And let's just leave it at that. Okay. Oh, it's still there.
You got like 70 seconds on that game,
and I can't avoid the buzzer. There's no way to avoid the buzzer because if he do this, it keeps going back to 30.
Ooh.
Okay, we'll just let it run, and I'll start it when you're about to start to try to avoid the buzzer. I got to figure out a way to avoid the buzzer.
So wait, the next one's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Well, you go first on the Wednesday game.
Okay, I'm resetting my timer because I got to talk about Florida for a long time for this one.
Well, yeah, because Florida's not playing.
Okay, so Petrusek is back. Oh, wait. Baltimore at Utica. This is the makeup game for the thing that happened. I got to pick Baltimore. I don't think there's going to be enough of a crowd for Utica to have a home field advantage there. I hate to say it, but I think Baltimore. I think Utica make it close, but I think Baltimore.
Well, that's also you're wrong. I think you saw Utica gut check victory over St. Louis. I think you're going to start seeing kind of a turn. I said this before, and it went into an 8-game losing streak. But I think Utica playing up against Baltimore. It'll be a close game, but I think Utica will win.
So how much is Moy out for the season going to just kill this team, do you think?
Well, I mean, every injury Utica has right now is huge. I mean, you look at Moises Gonzalez. You look at Logan Roberts hasn't played that much. That's another cog in the defense that we could absolutely need. We haven't even mentioned Anua Obasi going to Ontario. Darren Toby out with visa issues. Patrick Thompson out for the season. So, I mean, the hits just keep coming, which is why Utica's had to come in and get Lucio Gonzaga and Andrew Hoxie and Pablo da Silva and Everton. I mean, the experience is there. Will it equate to wins? Hopefully. But I definitely think the 2 goals in 3 minutes and getting that bounce is definitely steering Utica in the right direction.
So Kevin says Utica will win. Tanner's back as head coach. Tanner back as head coach?
No.
Is he on the bench?
Yeah, Tommy's on the bench.
But hasn't he been on the bench before?
No. So Casey Murphy is the assistant coach. And I don't know if I know he didn't make the trip out west because it was Ryan Hall and Tommy Tanner.
Oh, okay.
So he was out there for those 2 games and then the game against St. Louis. So, yeah, I think Tommy's going to be on the bench again, which is good, I think.
Amanda's here and she always forgets until the end of the show. Shame on you. Bunswacker says he's not going to buy me a cake because the ambush will win.
Well, I'll still buy you cake because I already did.
Yeah. And then he says your time is up.
Well, so there's that.
So how many do you think will actually be there on a Wednesday night?
Tough to say. So they're trying to. Well, here's the thing. It is actually winter break here.
Oh.
So there might be. I just thought of this because Hannah's off next week, and so Utica City is offering kids to play on the field before the game, and then you can go out and eat with the team or something like that. So I think you're going to see a decent sized crowd.
I was going to say, since they let the old guys play, now they're going to let the kids play and see if that does any different.
Right. You got to balance it out.
Right.
I would say 1,000, maybe. I don't think you're going to see a lot of people in the beer garden because that's mostly for adults. And so I don't think there'll be a lot down there. I will be down there.
It's mostly for adults and you. Adults and you, is that what you're saying?
Video. What?
It's for adults and you?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think you'll see a lot of kids and their families, especially if they don't have school the next day.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I'm sure that came into planning and why that date was picked.
Yeah, and I just thought of it. I'm like, oh boy, they're going to have like 500 people there. It's not going to be as.
Right.
We'll still have more fans than Florida.
Well, what, Florida reports, or what should we get on that?
And it'll look nicer than Ontario's or any other team that was higher than Utica in Jay's rankings.
All of them?
No, most of them.
Most of them. Tropics need a corn dog garden. See, so these are innovative ideas.
Very innovative.
That would help bring people.
But here's the thing. So you need to have fans first.
There's that. Yeah, there's that.
So
Well, what else do we want to talk about here?
I don't know. It's only 10:30.
With all our technical difficulties, we're only at 1 hour and 38 minutes and 57 seconds.
I know. That's pretty good.
Brad says, Matt, make sure you stay 4 to 6 feet away from the boards in the beer garden.
See, I will try. I can guarantee I will not have any beverages on the boards, unless it interferes with the speed of play. In that case, I'll just put it on there.
So, let's talk Hoxie. What kind of radioactive debris was his mustache exposed to? That it grew this way this time.
I will ask him his secrets.
Did you notice that though? It grew. It's taller.
It's not like Snidely Whiplash, like
right.
That it's like
the real reason you can't have drinks on the boards is because if he runs by, his mustache will hit him off. Then it creates a mess.
Stop calling me mustache.
Hey, mustache, what's up?
Hey, mustache.
I've only heard that 1,000 times in my life.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has pretty much run its course. Oh, for those of you who haven't seen Flying Cake. Oh, you missed it. Oh, you went the wrong way. I wouldn't be. It's like you know what? I might do this. I'll make one coming from the right, one coming from the left, and we'll play penalty kicks. You'll have to guess which way it's coming from, like the goalies do in outdoors. One coming from the top, the bottom, diagonally.
Oh my god!
You'll have to guess. Play a half an hour.
It's like Space Invaders, or that one game where you're like, this was like back in the 80s.
Asteroids.
Yes, where you're like the little triangle and you're like shooting around and you don't know where they're coming from.
So Matt Bryant says, who would you take, Andrew Hoxie or Raleigh Fingers? I did not follow baseball much of my life at all, but when I was
tough call. I mean, would you take Raleigh Fingers or Dennis Eckersley? Like, both those guys had sweet beards, or not beards, mustaches. I'd go Hoxie based on length and width.
Eric Bergerud, were mustaches better in the 80s or now? This is the question. We already know goalkeeping's better now than it was in the 80s. What about mustaches? 1982
what about mustaches?
Versus 2022. How many years is that? That's a lot of damn years.
Yeah, I would go Hoxie. I would go Hoxie, Fingers, Eckersley. Yeah.
If the Ambuns make a Ambuns garden, would I come to a game? The thing I wasn't going to tell Jay is that I was at Family Arena once. It was in June or July. It was the MASL USA versus the World, which is basically like a St. Louis all-star team versus whoever could make it from international team. Bunch of wave players were there, and that's why we went. And I wasn't impressed by that arena at all. Like, the seats we were in were broken. Floors were not cleaned, and it's not very appetizing to be there. So we'll leave it at that.
I was at Family Arena twice. Back when Utica was Syracuse. It was the last year of the Silver Knights. I mean, getting in and out of the arena was great. The food, St. Louis has great food. I mean, the arena itself.
It was June 16th of 2017 is when.
I know mine was either 2018 or 2019. I want to say it was 2018.
Free bananas
But
for fans in the Ambuns Garden would be good
if
marketing idea.
I will give you my rankings next week on arenas that I've been to.
That's cool. I think we talked about that. There was a guy that did a segment, like a written article on arenas he was at, and he would rank them based on like the places around the arena, in the arena, the concessions, the atmosphere, and everything like that, game day experience and things.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna include my own arena. I will include the On Center in Syracuse.
Oh, why?
Why?
If you do that, you should include Utica to do the comparison.
No, I'll include Syracuse. I'll include Rochester because I was there a few times. But yeah, it's gonna be based off of my overall experience going to each of those arenas.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're coming to that section of the show.
Yes. When I get my hand over the end call button.
I have a couple that I'm thinking of. You want a longer one? Okay. Here. Long time ago, Galaxy Fire. Wait, no, that's something else. First of all, good night, everybody.
Yes, good night. Thank you for watching. Next week, hopefully, we have to talk about maybe pushing it forward a little bit to accommodate a certain little girl that wants to be on the show.
Yep. We tried tonight, and then technology happened, and I still don't understand what happened there.
Right. But, I mean, by the time everything was up and running, it was time for her to go to bed. So,
Yep.
Hopefully Willie B.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, Harrisburg guys. So we started, almost 20 minutes late or something like that because of a number of technical difficulties that we will hopefully not have again. I don't necessarily understand what happened. So we need to kind of figure out what happened.
Right.
All right. It's a long time ago in a faraway land. Kelsey says, I've been listening to you two dinguses in public, and I'm positive people think I'm crazy for laughing out loud randomly.
Wait, she just calls dinguses?
Yeah. At first, when I read it, I'm like, what does Diegus have to do with this? I'm like, oh, wait, that's not what that says. All right. So we are in the ancient land of Tridville, where the people of Tridville, and the people of Tridville are called Trids. Because what else do you have? And they live all in this big castle. And travesty has struck Tridville. Everyone is sick with the same disease. You could call it Tridvid. There is one tree that has the famous flower on it that is is known around the land for the only flower that they can make the cure for this sickness, and people are getting really sick and starting to die. So they start sending people up this hill to try to capture this flower. The problem is there's a troll, evil troll, who lives. They don't live under bridges all the time. They live near trees on a hill. Go with me on this. And
yeah.
Every time they send somebody up, the troll kicks them back down the hill.
That's not nice.
It's not nice at all. So finally, they're running out of ideas because they send their best soldiers, they send their knights, they send their king, they send almost everybody up this hill, and it just doesn't work. And finally, this old man comes by and to the king, he says, "King, let me help you." And the king says, "Rabbi, how are you going to help?" He said, "Let me help. I think I can do this."
Can we call the rabbi Gerg Sudi?
No.
Oh.
So the rabbi goes up the hill. He goes to the tree, very leery of the troll, grabs all the flowers and down the hill, saves the kingdom. Everybody's alive. A few days later, the rabbi goes back up the hill and he says, "Troll, why you kicked everyone else down the hill? Why didn't you kick me down the hill?" And the troll says, "Silly rabbi, kicks are for trids."